Harry Smith along with Maggie Rodriguez.
Happy Monday.
Hope you're having a good Monday. Everybody is waiting for the release of Sarah Palin's.
Harry, thank you. Now to growing doubts about a very high-profile cholesterol drug. Millions of people take Zetia by Merck, but new research this morning is renewing questions about whether it's effective. Our Dr. Jennifer Ashton is here with the latest. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, Maggie.
You and I were talking about this at length this morning because so many people do take this. This is in the New England Journal of Medicine. 200 people roughly were followed for 14 months. Some of them were taking Zetia, others were taking an over-the-counter vitamin. What did the study find?
Right, now Maggie, this was people who already had cardiovascular risk factors, or they have already had a heart attack or an event of such. They were already on a statin to lower their cholesterol, but as we know, medication alone is not always effective. We need things like lifestyle, etc., and oftentimes just one medication is not effective. So they were divided into two groups, one taking Zetia, which helps to reduce the cholesterol from the food that we eat, and the other one, niacin, which is an over-the-counter vitamin. They actually stopped the study early, prematurely, after just over a year, when they found that the patients who were on niacin, the over-the-counter inexpensive vitamin-like substance, actually showed a significant reduction in the thickness of the plaque in the artery in their neck, and that was unexpected.
And the people on Zetia did not show that the plaque was reduced in their arteries?
Correct. No change on the Zetia, which is much more expensive.
So basically a less expensive over-the-counter drug in this case worked better than Zetia.
That's right, and the controversy continues here, Maggie. In the field of cardiology, we have heard about this in the past few years. This affects millions and millions of people and billions of dollars worth of the market share of cholesterol-lowering drugs. And the point here is that they, in this study, used an imaging test, the thickness of this artery in the neck, as an endpoint instead of, let's say, another heart attack. And some cardiologists feel that those two things are not equivalent.
So they didn't look at whether people had heart attacks. They just looked at the thickening of this one artery.
Exactly correct.
This is really bad news for Merck, because I remember not so long ago they came under fire for Vytorin, another one of their drugs, which happens to contain Zetia. What does this mean for people taking both Vytorin and Zetia?
First and foremost, Maggie, they should absolutely not stop taking a prescription medication without discussing it with their cardiologist. Again, we know things like that are important, but for patients with heart disease, reducing their bad cholesterol, their LDL, way below 100 is critical and has been conclusively shown to save lives. How we get to that endpoint is still up in the air, and the verdict is still out. So we will be hearing more about this controversy in the future.
What is Merck saying?
Merck, we have two statements from Merck, Maggie. One is a direct quote: "Be very unfortunate if a flawed scientific analysis led patients to discontinue their cholesterol treatment," end quote. The controversy is still continuing.
Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you.
You bet, Max.
See you later in the program. Right now, though, we want to go to Russ Mitchell at the news desk. Another beautiful Monday morning here in New York. Welcome to all our guests outside, and welcome back to the Early Show to all of you at home. Coming up, men have the little blue pill, Viagra, and now apparently so might women, the female version of Viagra.
Also this morning, social networking sites are not locations. Saving centers.
Saving centers.
Saving centers.
Cyber coupon.
Crazy. That's right. We're going to tell you all about that in just a bit.
But first, we have some new developments to report in the desperate search for a missing 5-year-old girl, Shania Davis. Her mother has been arrested and charged with child prostitution. And yesterday, police acting on a tip expanded their search. CBS News correspondent Mark Strassman is in Atlanta to bring us up to date. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning.
The Early Show continues now from the General Motors building in New York City.
Welcome back. On this morning's Health Watch, Viagra for women. More than 1 in 10 women are suffering from a condition called hypoactive sexual desire disorder. But a promising new drug could help change all that. And here with the details is our own Dr. Jennifer Ashton. Good morning again.
Hi, Maggie.
So what exactly did the study find about this drug, flibanserin?
Flibanserin, that's correct. This is a known antidepressant, but it didn't work so well as an antidepressant for treating depression. So like so many other things in medicine, it was found to have a secondary use. The study looked at just over 1,900 premenopausal women, so these are women under the age of around 50 with low libido, female sexual dysfunction, which can actually affect as many as 1 in 4 women, and found that those given a relatively high dose of this drug, about 100 milligrams a day, had a real increase in their sexual desire and their sexual satisfaction. It's not exactly a female Viagra, but the closest thing that women might have to it.
How far away is it from being available?
Right now, it's only being used in investigational trials, and we should mention that this study was sponsored by the maker of the drug, so that is a slight limiting factor, but it's being investigationally studied. And we also have to mention that Viagra is so effective for men because what usually causes sexual dysfunction in men is usually what we say a plumbing problem. It's a blood flow issue, and Viagra works great for that. Women are a little more complicated. Usually it's partially a brain issue. There can be a lot of things that cause low sexual desire in women. This is just one of them.
Are there any drawbacks that have been found?
Always side effects, right? So typically antidepressants can cause some weight gain. They can also disturb your sleep. So it's important not to just jump into any consideration of this. But again, it's going to be being looked at.
Are there any other treatments in the meantime for women with low libido?
Well, there are. The things that are typically used, you know, Viagra has been used off-label in treating women with sexual dysfunction, as have other antidepressants, also hormonal therapies, testosterone, and even some natural or herbal remedies. They all can have side effects, so women really want to discuss that with their doctor.
All right, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, thank you,
You
Jen.
bet, Maggie.
Coming up here on The Early Show, from eggs to cereal, we'll show you how to get the most bang.
Great crowd here on the plaza on a beautiful,
Spectacular.
mid-November morning.
Yes, Harry's fan club, these ladies, Iowans, who came all the way over here to support their fellow, well, you went to Central College, which is in Iowa.
Right.
Like you didn't know that.
Welcome back to The Early Show. I'm Harry Smith, along with Maggie Rodriguez.
This morning I had my exclusive interview with Laura Bush. I went to Dallas recently, spent a day with her, and she talks about life after the White House. I can tell you that they're awake. They wake up around 5.
Right.
George goes to get the coffee, brings it up to bed. They read the newspapers, and sometimes he even makes dinner. He likes to make scrambled eggs for Sunday supper. So maybe they're having some leftovers this morning.
Pretty creative.
That you didn't know that. So we'll
Okay.
talk to her about that. And also, she's pretty candid about criticism that's hurled at the Bushes from the Obama administration. So you'll hear what she says about that.
Also this morning, apparently some women tell little white lies that drives marketers crazy. We're going to talk to an author who will explain the acronym GAMES, GAMES, what that means, which are the 5 reasons women lie to themselves.
I'm a size 2. That's what?
That's a start.
I'm really not. But first, here's Russ at the news desk.
And that is no lie. Good morning, guys. Good morning to you at home. A new study raises concerns.
All right, Russ, thanks so much. We turn now to some drama on the high seas. A couple from Washington State and their 2 dogs were forced to abandon ship, but luckily they were rescued in style.
Nice group out here, right? Yeah, really nice. Yeah, including women with matching coats.
Ooh, fancy
Yeah,
coat.
very, very nice.
Very nice. Where are you ladies from?
Hillsboro, Texas. Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas. Hey, you know what? I went to Texas a couple of weeks ago to Dallas to talk to former First Lady Laura Bush.
Yay!
We have that interview coming up. She's
that.
very sweet. She's very candid about what they're doing these days, she and the former president. And she talks about criticism that President Bush still faces even when he's out of office.
There you go.
That was at the Dallas Performing Arts Center where she's very active. A beautiful place.
It looks
Gorgeous
nice.
place. Very nice.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, right. Also coming up this morning, we're going to explain why some women lie.
They do?
What?
You hear this collective?
You weigh 100
What?
pounds, right?
Exactly.
That's not a lie. What do you
Present
mean?
company excluded.
There you go. We're going to talk to an author who came up with an acronym called GAMES and explains why, especially when it comes to products and what women want, why women tend not to tell the truth.
Is it a bad thing?
Huh?
Is it a bad thing?
Well, if you're a marketer and you're trying to figure out
for
what
them it is.
exactly right,
see.
People tend to say one thing and then actually act in a completely different way.
Alrighty.
There you go.
Also ahead of your searching for the best way to make your face look great.